back out once again for two-wheeled action. Come the Pirelli MGA Racing Clubman Classic and Breakfast Run motorcycles. And as you can see, our good friend Byron Height always used to say, the Golden Highway has become what it is at just before 5 o'clock. A handful of races left to go for the day. 2, in fact. And it will be 2 fairly big races. The second of the 2 bike classes today, and then to finish us off, classics and fine cars. But just like that, we've got 11 supposed bikes on the grid, minus 1. Jean Momberg has withdrawn from this race as he had a damaged spark plug in race number 1. That caused a little bit of under-fueling. So the bike was running very lean, and he said he doesn't want to go and risk putting the championship at jeopardy as well as his bike. So he's decided he's just going to keep it as it is, and he'll hold off until the end of the month to get the bike sorted and to get back to racing. So we left with 10 others on the grid. The likes of Wayne Gresse, Eden Haynes, Kuni Boertes, Lubabalo Nsana, Conrad Meyer, Gerard Joubert, John Kosterman, who went out in race number 1, pulled in halfway through. He's back out for race number 2. William Morris on the Kajiva 1000. Hannes Janssen and Julian Lowe out on the circuit for race number 2. We'll hear the revs climb in just a moment from now. The 30-second board is out. We'll wait for the paddle man to call the 5-second board. There it is. Kuni Boertes and Eden Haynes get ready with the 2 S1000s. The lights go on, the revs go up, the lights go out, and away they go. And down to turn number 1, Holes Hook. They fire like bullets out of a loaded gun. Into turn 1 they go. Hard into the left-hander, hard on the brakes. They all fall into sequence. And down the Joubert straight they head into turn number 2, Castro Corner, for the first time in race number 2. Everyone slots into place, and here is where we begin to see either the person in front of you pulling away or the person behind you falling back.
Eden Haynes, Kuni Boertes, Lubabalo Nsana, Wayne Gresse. That's the way they lead out now through Lundstem King down towards Damsdip. And, well, is Eden Haynes on his first outing going to make it a clean sweep? Well, I reckon the man to hold him is Kuni Boertes, possibly Lubabalo Nsana in the 600 if he can make it nimble enough through the corners, because Lubas has got a lot of experience. John Momberg, Conrad Meyer, we'll have to have a look, see how they do. So they work their way down the back straight. Someone giving it horns down there into turn number 5, Pertamina Fostron, is John Kosterman. He's trying to make amends for his previous race where he didn't do so well. But here comes your leader, Eden Haynes. Getting on the money, but Kuni Boertes sitting there with him. And Lubabalo Nsana sitting there in P3. Going over the line, Conrad Meyer, Wayne Gresse, Kosterman, Joubert, John Momberg. And then Hannes Janssen, Julian Lowe, Willem Morris, and John Momberg.
They're round turn number 1. Block coin and someone's down. Let's just have a look. The rider's okay. It was just a very slow fall halfway through the corner. That's the 47. It's Gerard Joubert once again. That is a big, big shame. He dropped the bike at a track score, and he is absolutely upset, as you can only imagine, as the rest carry on. Oh, that is terrible, terrible for him. Hopefully there's not too much damage to that bike, because he just got it rebuilt over the last little while. 9 weeks it took. As the rest go, there goes John Kosterman around the outside of Wayne Gresse as they go down towards Sarel Sweep once again.
Johnny Kosterman, a man with about 40 or 50 years experience of racing, so he's having a lot of fun there. The leaders go down into Pertamina Fastron. Eden Haynes and Kuni Boertes is holding on there with him. Kuni wants to say to him, no, Eden, we have got a bet on the table. I want to wrap this one up. Will he be able to? Eden and Kuni are those to tail now as they reel out of 5 down towards turn number 1, Block Coin. And up behind him into Sana on the 600, pedaling very well with a good couple of litre bikes up behind him.
Don't forget there is still that bike down in turn number 1. Of course, the rider is all right, which is always nice to hear. But very, very unfortunate for Gerard Gibert. Coming down into turn number 2, Castro Corner. It's still Haynes from Buertas, from Mansana, from Meyer, Kosterman, Gresse, Lowe, Janssen, Morris is your top 9, and the only 9 bikes out on the tarmac at the moment. They head out of Castro Corner. A little bit of a bump there for Conrad Meyer. There's John Kosterman. There is Wayne Gresse. So the gaps are opening up amongst all of them as they head out of Castro. And now you see the leaders head towards Sorrel Sweep once again.
Eden Haynes muscling that bike. Kuni Buertas also trying to hang on both on BMWs, doing exceptionally well. Third place, Libabal into sign on the 600. Conrad Meyer sits there in 4. Up behind him, Johnny Kosterman on the old Priestling. He's in the classics, leading out over Wayne Gresse. Right, down they go into Pertamina, far strong corner, your leaders. And these 2 new youngsters, Eden Haynes and Kuni Buertas, are having an absolute jaw party, whatever you want to call it. Eden Haynes, BMW 1000R, Kuni Buertas closer in proximity up behind him. Work their way down there, you come down into Block Coin corner, turn number 1. Eden taking that safety line on the outside, brings it in now, not too keeled over. It's quite safe around the corners, no knee down, elbow down kind of stuff. He's actually still learning, but when he gets onto the straight, he gives it an absolute twist to the throttle and gets his way up towards Castro Corner.
Yep, and as you can see, Kuni Buertas is not letting him up whatsoever. 1.1 seconds is the difference this time around this lap. 5 to go. A 1:21.1 for Eden Haynes. So he can still catch up and do his 19 as we see them come down the Golden Highway once again. Down the Tygerberg Straight. There is first and second. Haynes, Buertas, Lubabalo and Sana, the first of the 600s. Has Conrad Meyer just behind the 3rd place in Clubman's 1000. John Kosterman next in the frame. That is the first of the classics. Then it's Wayne Gresse, the 2nd in the classics. Then it'll be Julian Lowe, Hannes Janssen, and William Morris as they all come through as we jump back. There we see them. That will be Morris and Janssen as they come down towards Sorrel Sweep. I lied, that's Janssen and Lowe as they go through Sorrel Sweep. Here's back to the leaders in turn number 1.
Yeah, it's still Eden Haynes leading out Kuni Buertas, and Eden has put a bit of a gap over Kuni, although Kuni will try and draw in Eden. But like I said, Eden a very strong lad, and he's got the muscle power for that big 1000 RR. Kuni Buertas, also a very strong young lad, sits up there behind him. And they work their way now out of Castrol Corner, down into Lumsden Kink, and down into the dam step. Lubabala to Sana, been reeled in there by Conrad Meyer. They'll come through the Lumsden Kink up towards dam step. And Conrad Meyer trying to reel in Lubas, but Lubas a very experienced rider on a little 600, showing Conrad Meyer the way around the circuit.
Yep. Showing some serious might between the 600cc and the liter bike as there 2 bikes on their right hand side going through Sorrel Sweep. We jump back to the leaders once again. There is Eden Haynes. There is Kuni Buertas. 1.7 seconds now the difference. It's opening up gradually, but this also shows that Kuni Buertas is putting in some great improvement after race number 1. A 19.9 goes Eden Haynes. And a 20.8, just under a second between the 2 in terms of lap time on that last lap as they race down. There's John Kosterman once again. And here are your leaders. Sorry, no, I lied. This is 3rd and 4th. Lubabala and Sana and Conrad Meyer, and they've swapped places now, changing from 3rd and 4th. So Sana now still the leader of the 600s. In fact, the only 600 out on the circuit, and sitting just under a second behind Conrad Meyer out in front.
Conrad managed to get past Lubabala to Sana. That inevitably would happen, the power of 1000 over a 600. And Meyer now moves up to P3 in Class A, so in the Clubman's class. And have a look now down the back straight down towards Pertamina Fastron. It's that man Eden Haynes. I tell you what, if I was voting for a ride of the day, this would be my ride of the day. There's just no two ways about it. For those voting online on the WhatsApp band, that is definitely the ride of the day, Eden Haynes. He is absolutely on his debut to take 2 races. Thus far, he's got 2 laps to go. Starting his penultimate now when he crosses the line. So he's actually blown away from Kuni now. And there's a bit of daylight between the two of them as they roll down into Blockcoin. And Eden, you can see that there's Kuni up behind him. There must be a good 3-second gap, 4-second. And they are working their way out now up the Uber Straight. Behind them, it's going to be Conrad Meyer and Lubapolo Ntsana hanging on.
Now there you see on that all great 600 running on through. Then there's John Kosterman, the first of the the first of the classics, running a very good race this time around after he did exit race number 1 with some sort of issue. And then there we should have Wayne Gresse coming into frame. There he is on that all bright red Kawasaki. I believe he's on his ZX-10 this time around. As far as I know, he's been jumping between his ZX-10 and the Yamaha R1, as we saw Hannes Janssen and Julian Lowe come on through. But there is William Morris as well. That needs to, sorry, no, that's Julian Lowe, and then William Morris now comes across the line as we jump back to the end of the circuit, and we jump back to the leaders once again.
All right, third place man Conrad Meyer going in there with Lubapolo Ntsana down into Pertamina Fastron. Now Meyer starting to pull away from Ntsana as the leaders have gone down into Blockcoin. But Lubas trying to hold on to Conrad Meyer. Conrad Meyer streaking out ahead now, and they're on their final lap.
Yep, just like that. The laps go by quick as we run on through. The sun slowly sets faster and faster and gets a little bit lower on the horizon. There you saw the front 2 go by. On the back wheel, Lubapolo Ntsana and Conrad Meyer. Sorry, you know what, Francois? I keep calling him Conrad, like the piston. It's Conrad. My mistake. When you listen to this a little bit later or tomorrow, please forgive me. Conrad Meyer. He still holds out against Lubapolo and Ntsana. But there you see Eden Haynes and Kuni Boertes make their way down towards turn number 5 once again. Francois Butler, bring them home.
Right, coming out of Pertamina Fastron, it's that man, Eden Haynes, who's been rocketing on 1,000 RR. He goes past William Morris on the Aldo Brilliant, comes up towards the line. He's going to be absolutely ecstatic with a double win for the day. And right up there behind him, Kuni Boertes. He'll be as happy as a pig in Palestine, to say the least. And he'll take second, probably for the day as well. Great ride there from him. Waiting for the likes of Conrad Meyer to come up over the line. Cross the line. Followed there by Lubapolo Ntsana, a man that comes from ZX-10 Cup and has also ridden superbikes here at Kalani for quite a couple of years. Nice to have him in the house. But yeah, he's a great ride coming out of Johnny Kosterman on the Priestling, the 81, taking the classics and P5 overall.
Brilliant stuff as we wait for the rest of the field to come out. And you know what? You know something I'll say, as I see there is a battle coming to the line. But I think Eden Haynes will get one present at prize giving from you. That'll be the one victory for today. But he also gets the prize of going to Superbikes next round as look to the line. Just like that between Gresse and Janssen. 0.02 of a second at the line between the R1. Between the R1 and that of, let me just see, the Gixxer 750, GSXR 750 Suzuki of Hannes Janssen. Very, very close between the two right at the line, and good racing until the very end. Still, I feel for Gerard Joubert. Very, very unfortunate. We'll wait for that bike to be rolled back to the pits, probably be put on a trailer. And then we'll lead out and wait for the Lauda Classics and Caltron Fine Cars to come out for their final race of the day, as well as the last race of the day here at